Biography, Desert Traveler and Suffering Man. Safar-e-Sahara is a tragic reality tale written by Saqib Hussaini Boss. It depicts the story of a traveler lost in the desert and a hapless human in distress. Saqib Hussaini Boss writes that when a person becomes trapped in misfortune, and such misfortune ensnares them to the extent that not only do their loved ones abandon them, but they also become enemies, such a hapless individual is akin to a lost traveler in the desert. This tale, famous for centuries, symbolizes the mystique of the desert, where travelers used to wander in caravans. If a caravan or an individual strayed into the desert for any reason, the enchantment of the desert would affect them in strange ways. From ancient times, scholars have written about the tales of those who wandered into the desert. When a person or a caravan becomes lost in the desert, due to hunger, thirst, and exhaustion, they reach a semi-lifeless state. On one side, the desert's scorching heat, and on the other side, its predators start to stalk them. As soon as they falter, they become prey. On the other hand, the desert exerts its magic on the distressed person, and the person, discarding their clothes, shoes, and belongings, becomes entranced by the desert's beauty. The person's heart and mind become captivated by the desert's allure, and sometimes, they catch glimpses of oases, caravans, or water springs, even hallucinating about the sea. In such a state of madness, a person suffers immensely, and unless they maintain control over their heart and mind, there is little hope for survival. Success only comes through struggle, but if one succumbs to the desert's enchantment, they perish before dying. This is the plight of a hapless human, as described by Saqib Hussaini Boss. Such a hapless individual, who becomes trapped in misfortune due to business losses or involvement in crimes because of their own mistakes, finds themselves abandoned not only by their loved ones but also turned into enemies. Such a hapless individual dies a little every day, for there is no one to guide or support them. They wander in the world like the desert's traveler, and in this world, there are all kinds of beasts waiting to prey on them. In fact, these people are hunted like prey by those who possess the cunning skill of preying on others. They take advantage of these unfortunate individuals for their own selfish desires, just like the desert ensnares the lost wanderer. Despite having eyes, ears, and a tongue, the hapless individual becomes blind, deaf, and dumb, surrounded by nothing but sand, for in this desert, no one helps the distressed human. Indeed, a hapless individual sees the dreams presented to them in the form of beasts, just like the lost traveler in the desert. Therefore, a troubled person takes 4 more troubles to alleviate one, and in this way, his troubles increase day by day. Initially, he chooses paths to recover his financial losses, hoping to gain more profit with less investment. Initially, he also seeks help from selfish individuals, who, in exchange for some money, make him do things that are undoubtedly wrong. However, the troubled person accepts this trouble because dying seems worse to him. That is, to get rid of one trouble, he takes 4 more troubles upon himself, and whatever capital comes into his hands, he contacts others to earn more capital. They show dreams in the guise of humans, saying, "We can fulfill your dreams." By putting his money into gambling and betting, it will increase 100-fold. Saqib Hussaini Boss says gambling and betting also have a charm within them, just like a desert. It entices the gambler to start winning from the beginning. Therefore, a troubled person gets trapped in its charm due to greed. From here, the troubled person's second start begins. Therefore, for the sake of hope, he works on tasks that further entangle him in more troubles and calamities. He feels as if no one is sympathetic except humans. Such troubled individuals continue to use selfish individuals until society does not label them as frauds or scammers. The troubled person was initially in debt and impoverished, but this selfish human only leads him into a world of crime where the beginning is made, but there is no end. Therefore, when a person takes on the burden of his troubles to eliminate them and wraps himself in the troubles of the whole world, and is caught in the millstone of circumstances in such a way that the world curses him, his life becomes worse than before, and those around him, except for mocking him, are useless. Then, such a person either commits suicide or adopts a new identity and enters the world of bloodthirsty beasts, which we call the world of criminals. That is, he enters the world of crime where he meets new selfish humans who introduce him to new ways of crime. But the troubled person remains troubled. Initially, he was troubled, now he has become lost. He receives curses from all around the world, so he forms an alliance with criminals and writes a new tale of destruction. Here, he can become a murderer, a oppressor, or even a terrorist. Saqib Hussaini Boss says, why all this happens? It happens because we are responsible for all these matters. If we do not stop those individuals who, due to someone's fault, have fallen into trouble and are going towards crimes, if we do not help them, they will become a scourge for society. They will become a poison that will destroy thousands of households. In fact, we are responsible because we force such individuals to become oppressors and tyrants, frauds and scammers, and then we somewhere become victims of it. That is why it is said, if you see a fire somewhere, extinguish it. If you see someone in trouble, help them. Before saying good or bad to someone, understand why they are doing what they are doing. A person bruised by the time becomes like a wounded lion who, driven by the storms of internal blindness, burns the world. Only humans are born from the mother's womb. Time and circumstances turn them into angels, demons, or animals. Now it is up to us to become angelic humans in our surroundings, not tyrants and oppressors. When a person bruised by time and circumstances becomes a tyrant and oppressor, he commits such crimes that innocent children, women's honor, are not safe. He unleashes poison in the world, sometimes in the form of weapons, sometimes in the form of addictive drugs, and sometimes in the form of dishonoring a respectable woman. Sometimes, in the form of selling the innocence of children. In short, no matter how many crimes are happening around us or are being committed, we ourselves are responsible. There are many people around us who, due to time and circumstances, are troubled and have become indebted. If we collectively consider their debt as our duty and pay it off, creating ease in its repayment, maybe we can bring about a betterment in society. And if we help someone, let it be in such a way that they become hard-working individuals, meaning to help them in a business-like manner. Today, if we help someone, tomorrow someone dear to us will help us. The population of the world is approximately over 8 billion, and there are nearly 10,000 religions. And there are approximately 7,000 languages spoken in the world. Despite this diversity, there is a bond of relationship, reality, and emotion among them. Almost all religions are the same, and we are away from it. If we look, we do not have a sense of relationship with our relatives, neighbors. Then how can we help such a person who is struck by time and circumstances? After that, if there is no connection, we will have to change ourselves for a better world. A better person is necessary for a better world. This money, wealth, fortune, will neither be able to take anyone nor will anyone be able to take it with them. It will all stay here.